Hello. Hopefully it is hopefully the stream is sorted out. Hope everyone can hear me alright. Stream link I think has just gone live. Yep, it has. So I will sort this out now. Alright, hello to the people who just started joining the stream. How is everyone doing tonight, and can you hear me alright? Let me know if you can hear me. Just in case I need to change anything before we get started. Just putting this into announcements chat so I can get a little bit more focus on this, and we can go at 8 o'clock. Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, X90G couldn't be here today, and when I put a message into commentators chat, I didn't get any response whatsoever. So unfortunately, this week in particular, it's going to have to go without. I'll see if I can potentially get some sort of response for this time next week. Alright, I put that in now. Should be perfectly fine. If someone's going to get in for misfits, they need to be quick. Alright. Welcome everyone to round 5. This is Lobby A. This is qualifying. So for round 5 of the ALR Esports season, everything just starting to hot up now. FGR managed to open themselves a little bit of a gap last week. There's going to be a few that try and bring that gap back down this week. But we do have a very, very important battle for potentially, well, for the first time in ALR. We've got Aura versus Jensen versus Lewis. The 3 big names in the league right now. All 3 of them in the same lobby tonight, provided they do an actual lap in qualifying. All expected to be in Lobby A. It's going to be an absolute massive heavyweight battle, that one. Happy and BX are no slouches either. But those are the 3 names that we're all looking at. That's for certain. As we head toward the start. Let's have a look at, make sure we've got 12 in the lobby. So you've got Jensen, Harlexon, Beetle in for Falcon. You've got Miku, Matty, and Aura in for FGR. Javi, Alessandro, and Keplero in for Arix. Their fairly standard lineup. And VX, Zico, and Lewis in for Project Platypus. So they've gone with, I believe, their strongest available lineup. So it's going to be very interesting to see that one. Because that might be the strongest lineup they can field, quite frankly, out of the 8 they've registered. So I am very, very interested to see how that one plays out. We will put in a starting soon, because we are starting at 8 o'clock. Pretty much on the dot. Just had a message from Wax saying in the other lobby as well, everyone in, so we'll both be starting at 8 o'clock on the dot. But I'm the only one with a stream, so you have to keep getting information from me. When I see something, I'll or hear something from Lobby B, I'll let you guys know. as well. But for now, it's just me and you guys. Just the Lobby A stream for the night. Yeah. A track that isn't usually associated. This is the interesting part. This is definitely a track that is not in any way, shape, or form associated with that of an esports calendar. And this is one of the tracks where, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of gardens, right? I'll admit this now. When driving myself, I'm not the greatest fan of gardens, but seeing this kind of track gives me a little bit, sparks a little bit of that joy. That joy that you don't get to see this very often. So you get to see what drivers are made of things they probably do not know as well. And that's, to me, part of it's just a great thing in GT. People will have to adjust. And that's part of the ability of winning a championship at the end of the day, isn't it? Having to adjust to the thing around, to the situation around you. That's what it's going to be for most of the night here tonight. We are going. Everyone's had their chance to put things on. It has turned to 8 o'clock. We are going to start qualifying here. Let's see how qualifying is going to go through the through this 10 minutes. That way we can see who is going to be able to put themselves on top. Heavyweight battle on the cards. Hello, EA. How is everyone doing tonight? How is everyone feeling about this? What kind of times, actually, is a better question. What time do we think we're looking at for pole position in this race, or in this qualifying session? That's the big question. I have put this on. I have done a little bit of testing, but obviously the times that I get are not even close to the times that people like Aero, for example, are going to be putting up there. Jensen, there's the flashing lights. Those two getting ready for what is going to be one hell of a battle. We had an extremely entertaining grandstand finish last week. Aura getting picked effectively on the line by Lewis from Project Platypus. So it is already 1-0 Lewis in that in the battle between Aura and Lewis. But now he added a third variable, which could make things a lot more interesting. Miller said the high 29. That could be a fairly interesting one. So it's going to be a case of trying to see how many people get into the 29s in this session then. Going watching on Aura's lap. Kepler is currently backing off, gaining himself a little bit of space. You'll see that from Zico as well. BX is just in front, but he's in a McLaren. He's going to struggle tonight. With the curves, Miku is in second, so Lewis is going to take us away for the start of this qualifying session. He's going to round this final corner. He is going to be the first person on a lap. And we are off and running for real. Here, Dragon Trail Gardens Reverse. A very atypical track to what we would do on a normal esports season here. Let's realistically see what these drivers have got up their sleeves in the next 10 minutes. It's going to realistically give them a chance for maybe about 5 or 6 laps, depending on how many times they pit, or if they pit at all. I would assume this track has fairly decent tyre wear, given the multitude of difficult corners here, the multitude of back-to-back corners as well, especially the quadruple. What would be a right-hander going the other way, being a left-hander now up the hill. A right-hander hairpin as well. It's going to be we didn't do the normal way. We did the normal way not that long ago on Monday, so it's going to be a very quick adjustment for to have to go in reverse if you were in that race. Miller said a 29.792, so high 29.7s is the prediction there for Miller. So I'll go 29.8 then. I'll go 29.8. We'll stick around the same basis. Let's see what Lewis is going to do here. He's going round the final corner toward the line now, heading there through the penalty line. 26, 27, 28, 29. It's a 30.3 to start. It's quicker than Miku by 0.4 of a second. BX not there for anything either. Zika did a 30.5, 30.9 for Kepler. Aura is the next one. It's a 29.9. And there's your benchmark. There is the benchmark that we expected to have. And it's Aura that draws first blood. Jensen's about to come to the line. He starts with a 29.9 high. Let's see if... Well, Jensen's definitely not going any far on this to win a flying lap. He's about to start a proper lap now, I'm guessing. After the 150 there, it sees him at the back of the grid at this point in time. Again, just maybe a little bit too deep on the entry, on the exit of turn 1, sliding on the exit of turn 2. Jensen maybe not up to speed with the track here a little bit. Let's see if that can change as he continues through the 10 minutes. It's not even halfway yet. Long way to go in this qualifying session. Still needs to get that one good lap in to make sure he can get himself into Lobby A at the absolute minimum. Because if your likes of your Jensen, your Auras, your Lewis gets into Lobby A, then we all know what they're capable of. Let's be honest. It takes it one good lap, the things start clicking into place, and then they're gone. Aura seems to be the first one to get that good lap. BX had a 30.5 there, 30.54, good enough for third as it stands. Project Platypus 2-3. Aura again beats his pole time. Sets a very slightly quicker lap time. That is a 29.957. Alessandro into the 30s now, 30.9. I think Javi did a 30.3. Someone's in a wall there. Oh, Finn's in the wall. Jensen didn't look like he was having a fun time either. The Falcon boys are off to a horrible start. Finn is in the wall entirely. Jensen to the line now, 30.4. Good enough for fourth. He's going to feel like he could do a little bit better than that. Lewis is currently in third, 9,000 of a second off of Javi. These guys split by less than half a tenth of a second. Aura is on a... well, it's flying right now. All the way back up to the back of Lewis, who has let him go. And he's also picked up half a second his penalty here, so I think this might be a pit lap here. Oh, Miku's in the wall now. Miku faced the wrong way. That's not good news for FGR. We have been in this point before. We've seen the lineup when it's not included Millis. FGR's night doesn't seem to go as well. And again, we're going to be in a position where FGR absolutely need to give Aura some help. If they are going to sustain the lead they currently have, they have got to give Aura a little bit of help here. Aura into the pit, Tabby into the pit, Lewis into the pit. Not too surprising after his spin. Jensen is going slow on track, so he isn't doing much of anything right now either. Well, true. That's true. Largely without Millis. Here we go. To the line, Harlex, 31, 32. Yeah, he's slower, so he's not improving there. Kepler on an outlap. Matty on an outlap. Beetle is going around the final corner right now. Span on the prior lap. Can't imagine his lap will be too great here. 29, 30, 31, 31, 2, 32, 0 actually. Is still slower than the rest of the grid up to this point. Everyone else, or a large majority of everyone else, on an outlap right now. Jensen is about to dive into the pits. So nothing going for him right now. He's got about a minute. He'll have about a minute and a half to try and put something together. BX on an outlap. Zico. Harlex isn't. See what Harlex is going for at this point in time. Second sector time shouldn't be too far away from the split here. Is he up? He is. He's up by a quarter of a second. That would be good enough to jump him. Or maybe right up to Jensen, you know. That could be close. He might be a couple of thousandths short of Jensen if he keeps going the way he has through the first 2 sectors of the lap. He's got one corner to try and do it. Oh, it's a little bit deep there on the final corner. Is he keeping it going? 28, 29, 30. He's not kept it going and he's down on the lap. And he's on for one last go now. I think he might actually get 2 if he's lucky. I think he might be out of it. We'll see if he's got anything left in the tank with those tyres. Finn 31.2 needs to step that up a little bit here. Otherwise, he's in risk of being in Lobby B. We'll see if there's going to be anything to come from in this qualifying session. Jensen's still on a lap. Matty did a 30.8. That is good enough for 9th at the moment. 9th at the moment for him. Jensen's about to go over the line, so it'll be him afterwards. He'll be the final one to finish pretty much. Zico's currently down on his lap. VX is the next car up. The McLaren shouldn't be doing too well over these curbs. Gonna be a rough night as they go along here. If you are in a McLaren, I think. Even though Javi currently has 2nd on the grid, so we'll see how that progresses. Zico to the line now, not improving. BX again not improving, but they'll get one more shot at it apiece. This will be their last laps. Down to the line, Lewis did a 30.2. That's good enough for 2nd right now. Miku up into 4th, 30.4. All these guys going to get one more shot at this if they've just come to the line now. Everyone coming to the line now is over and done with. Aura is one of those guys who are about to finish up for the night. Well, for qualifying. 30.9 for Finn, and it's not an improvement by Aura. 29.9 is as good as he's getting. Let's see who's the next one to the line. The next one to the line is Matty. So this will be 2 of the 3 FGR drivers done for qualifying. It's a 30.6. It's good enough for 8. Jensen. Oh, Jensen's round! Jensen's round! It is not an improvement for him at the final corner, and that'll be the end of his qualifying session. No improvement there. Javi is on his final lap. We know BX is on his final lap. We're ahead to BX. I think Zico's dropped to the pits, and BX has picked up a penalty. So there's no chance for Project Platypus to take pole position unless Lewis has got something in the bag on the final lap here. He'll need about 3 attempts to do it. Javi's got a bit deep there. He tries to keep together. I'm not entirely sure what BX is doing there. Javi to the line, 30.2. 4,000 of a second slower than Lewis, who comes to the line and didn't improve. Keplero didn't improve either. Harlex after that. Doesn't look like anything's popped up on the screen, so no improvement for him either. Jensen's still round. Oh, is that Jensen? That's someone else. It's Alessandro now, round in the final corner. And Aura will take pole position. Unless somebody in Lobby B's done a magnificent lap, which I don't think they will have. Like, that would have to be a lap of also, like, genuinely one of the best laps we'll ever see from a Lobby B driver if that is the case. We will, I very much assume that we've just seen pole position here from the German driver of FGR, and it is definitely first blood to FGR in this one. In the three-way we thought we were going to get, 2 of them at 1 and 2 will start on the first row of the grid. The third of them starts 5th. Miku did an excellent lap there, get himself in 4th in this particular lobby. Is a nice way to get some help for Aura out front, trying to sustain that lead that they currently have built up through 4. Bearing in mind, we've got Gardens tonight, and we've got Sardinia this time next week, and then that will drop to 5 after that. we will drop to 5 teams after Sardinia this time next Sunday. And then we'll be into double points races. It is imperative that you can get as much of a gap as you can possibly get, into round 7 and 8 of this season, to make sure that if you do have one bad day at the office, it's not really the biggest blow in the world. So an extension of that gap would be pretty nice if you're FGR. The best lap in Lobby B was a 30.8. 30.8. Which would put 10th in Lobby A. Latari in 10th. Apex into Lobby A again this season. 30.921. Not quite quicker than Keplero, but Keto slots himself into 12th. 13th would be Beetle, by the looks of things. Oh no, 13th would be Alessandro. I think 14th is going to be Fluffy, but actually, I think the top 3... Yeah, I think the top 3 in Lobby B are going to join us. In Lobby A, I think Apex might be about to get a couple of people in this lobby. Positive trends for Apex so far toward the latter end of the season. Maybe just a little bit of momentum break. A chance, at the very least, to sit themselves in a position to make next season look very good. About what do we look at the standings right now? Looking at the standings, we're currently looking at 256 for FGR, 231 for Arix. We've got 197 for Falcon, 170 for Project Platypus, 123 for Aero GT, 9PP 94, Apex 79. So there's a good chance that Apex may be about to do a number on Pegasus here. Try and steal that 6th place. If nothing else at all. That is very interesting. That the way that is set up is going to become very, very interesting. The gaps are definitely spread out a little bit. The front 3 were a lot further clear than the rest of the grid. Everyone else, well, from 9th through 4th, split by 0.3 of a second. So the mid pack should be very, very tightly knit tonight. Lewis and Javi split by 4 thousandths of a second and third. So we are expecting battles up and down the grid. Those 3, 10, 11, 12, also very much in a place to have a pretty good battle, especially with the guys potentially jumping up from Lobby B as well, all of them in the 130.9s. That'll be where the interesting scenarios come to pass. We will see how this is going to play out. More importantly, how is tire wear going to affect the strategies? That's the bigger question in my opinion here. Who is going from... I think Keto, Lotari are set. I think they will be joining us for certain. I'm not entirely sure whether or not we're going to be joined by Fluffy Butt or not. I think we are. I think he just beat out Finn. Which means we'll lose one of the Falcon drivers from this lobby. But there's about 5 or 6. There's about 5 or 6 drivers right now that are within a 10th of each other, right at the back of this, right at the back of Lobby A, at the front of Lobby B. So I'm just waiting to make sure that my maths is correct. the thing from BX, so I can now end my race and set up properly. Let's have a good shot at this. We will now go to custom weather. We will very quickly double switch that back to sunrise shortly. We'll set by host. Everything else should be the same. I am going to double set it. This is going to early morning. We'll reset it back to sunrise just so we can get the appropriate time of day, because it's been a decent while since I opened this lobby. People are going to start entering and then realize that I have to do it again. There's a very different looking time of the day, lads. There you go. Back to the sunrise. So let's have a look at what BX has put out here then. So it is Aura on pole, followed by Lewis, then Javi in third, Miku in fourth, Jensen in fifth, BX in sixth, Zico in seventh, Matty in eighth, Harlex ninth, Latari in 10th, beats out Keplero. Yep, beats out Keplero there to 11th, and Keto in 12th, Alessandro in 13th, and Fluffy Butt did in fact make it for the bottom spot of Lobby A, which means Finn is going to be P1 to start in Lobby B. They got Hollywood 2nd, Anonymous 3rd, Astro 4th, Prime Cold 5th, Wack 6th, Capel 7th, and SD 8th, Supercracker in 9th in Lobby B. So, Fluffybot did just steal his way into the final spot of the lobby. I just responding to Jensen in a second. Making sure we've got everyone that we need in this lobby right now. Like we got the 14 names that we should have. Change grid order. That needs to be flipped. Then it's Javi in third. Javi in third. I don't know why he came off this. Miku in fourth. That's a very good run for Miku. Very good run. Jensen fifth. BX in sixth. Zico next. After that, then Matty. Then Harlex. Latari in 10th. And Keplero. Arix needed a better day, a better qualifying than that. I'll say that much. It's not been great for Keplero or Alessandro here. Starting in 2 of the last 4 positions. We'll get a starting soon. Put into the chat. Give everyone an extra minute. We'll go at 23 to get themselves sorted with their correct settings. And then we'll get going properly here. We'll go for 47 laps around Dragon Trail Gardens Reversed here at Esports, with a lot on the line in the next couple of weeks. And this is going to be one of those tracks where we're either going to see a complete shake-up, or one of these drivers is going to maintain the status quo and drive away from the rest. That is going to be the case here. It's going to be either a big win or everyone's just going to be battling forever. All depends on whether or not they know the track. Welcome to the 23 of you who have joined us tonight. We're not very far away from starting this race. We'll go in a second here. Just making sure we got everyone there in the right positions. I believe they are. Fluffy Boats. Yep, they are. All in the correct positions here. Which means it's time for us to go. It's time for us to go. Let's see, is it going to be FGR's night? Try and extend that lead a little bit further, or is Eric going to fire back? They're going to try and get themselves a little bit closer between now and the end of the first 6 races going into double points. So are they going to start to be caught back up by Project Platypus or Falcon, who desperately need the points tonight to bring themselves with a hope into the final couple of weeks? Here we go. 5 red lights. As lights out, away we go. They got held a little bit at the start there. Lewis has got off to a poor start. Miku, however, cannot say the same. He's up in a second on the outside. The 2 Mercedes off to a lightning start. Lewis has managed to keep himself on the inside in turn 1 to get himself back into second. It looks like Javi is trying to get himself back in the third, but is not able to do it. Miku getting a flying start there. Only able to get the 1 position out of it, though. The rest of the front 5 remain unchanged. Oh, a little bit of a tag there from Javi on Miku. Miku's gone wide. Miku's off the track. Miku is off the track and dropped to 11th straight away. I think that may have been a little bit of the cause with the tag there from Javi. That is really unfortunate. You are right. Someone is off the back. Latari way off the pace now as well, off the start, so he must have had something happen to him in his BMW off the start. Couldn't be more unfortunate for him. Matty's got a penalty on what has been an extremely rough start. Extremely rough start here for FGR, outside of Aura at the lead of the pack. Let's see if we got Fluffy Butt to the inside of Miku. We do not. Keto up into 9th. Keflar up into 8th. Decent start for FGR. Not for FGR, for Project Platypus and for Arix as well. Harlex into 6th. These guys being the beneficiaries of the Miku drop all the way down into 11th place, or at 37.4 for the first lap of this one. Harlex is going to look to the inside of BX here. Maybe try and stitch a move into turn 2. He still had that inside line. He's going to give him a little bit of space, and he slid on the exit, and that's going to harm his ability to get in front. Or was it? He actually is still in front of BX. That's well done there by Harlex to keep the inside line. It didn't look like from the camera angle they actually made it stick. But he actually has, and well played to the Norwegian driver. Oh, he might have gone a little bit too deep there, and don't want to be doing that too often, because the curbs here are lethal in this, followed up by going too deep into the dirty tyres as well. He's got to be a little bit careful now as Harlex into the latter stages of this lap. He might be under fire if he keeps driving the way he has. Kepler and Zico there fighting it out for 7th. Zico looks like he's held his place for the moment in time, but Kepler definitely got the better exit. Flying down the start. Let's see if he can get it. Kepler to the inside. He gets past Zico. Up in the 7th goes the Arix driver here. A little bit of a bounce in the step for Zico, who's not able to fight back. Going further forward, Aura has already driven off. Already a second clear. Lewis is in second right now. Aura's into the pits early, off the medium tyre. Okay. I'm now very confused at the strategy call. I didn't even know what the strategy call was going to be in the first place. But now I am very intrigued that the front 4 are right on the back of each other. After that, is it 3 sets of softs maybe? I don't know if the tyres wear that much. Maybe it's 2 sets of softs actually. That's a very intriguing proposition. Aura has thrown up here. To pit early, he's out of the traffic. Or is he? I think he may have actually come out into ever so slight traffic because he's managed to... Oh, that didn't look great there. I'm not entirely sure which one cut up the grass on the inside. One of them did. It didn't look too great either. The front 3 still flying at each other. Jensen looking round. Oh, here comes Javi to the inside of Lewis. And again, just switched back. Javi just getting the braking zone all messed up. Lewis gets a nice little switch back, maybe anticipating Javi coming in hot. And I think Jensen might be about to steal the position off Javi as well after the mistake. The McLaren isn't able to keep up with the Lexus in a straight line, and the Lexus is going to go through. Jensen up in a second. And we are going to get this heavyweight battle now. Jensen and Lewis are right beside each other. It did not take Jensen long to achieve that in the slightest. We now have a very interesting strategy race with the driver who was in the net lead, pitting early off of on the end of lap 2 there. And here comes Jensen to the inside of Lewis. Lewis may have got a little bit spooked. It gave Jensen a lot of space, potentially unnecessarily there. And Jensen's managed to get himself into the lead of this race for now. Javi still hanging on the inside, on the back of Lewis as well. The front four right here and thereabouts, they are not letting each other go. Javi looking to the inside. Lewis is just struggling just a little bit more now. Let's see the tires of everyone. It's mediums for Lewis. It's soft for Jensen. It's soft for Javi, and it's soft for Harlex as well. And that would explain why Lewis isn't able to drive off. And that actually now puts more emphasis on the fact that Javi and Harlex need to get by. Oh, a little bit of maybe a little bit of contact between the two there. It looked like they got very, very close on the exit. They're on the middle of the hairpin there. BX is on soft as well, so he needs to start making a move towards the front pack. And Jensen's cleared the second already. Okay, so this makes a lot more sense, but it also does put into perspective how clear all it was. Oh, that's a half second for Lewis. That's a half second for Lewis, and there comes Javi and Harlex, who will definitely get positioned now. But back to the point I was saying earlier, that gives a little bit more perspective into the fact that Aero came off the mediums early. We're able to get the position as well, get clear as well. Javi and Harlex side by side into turn 1. Javi's got the inside line. Harlex tried to storm around the outside, but given no room. He lost out to both Lewis and Javi as we go through turn 1 there, and Javi didn't really need to give any. Quite frankly, he was definitely more than ahead going into the inside. They were alongside each other, so you could probably argue a little bit either side. That looked like BX may have been a little bit too deep in the background of the shot. Lewis just slided his car ever so slightly again, and Harlex is going to have another shot at going by. And another mistake from Harlex if he goes just too deep and hangs on. Harlex is passing up golden opportunity after golden opportunity here. If I was Lewis, I'd potentially be letting BX through here. Harlex looks to be making mistakes left, right, and centre. You could potentially both get a position if you let BX have a go at him. The medium tyres on Lewis's car right now is not doing him any favours whatsoever. I can understand why Aura chose to get rid of them early. Mind, it's 47 laps of this track. See if we've got anything else going on right now. BX has got past Lewis, so they did change exactly as they thought. I thought they would. So that's going to allow BX a free run at Harlex, who has been cleared by Javi now. 1.3 seconds. Zico now into the pits off the medium tyre, and Jensen has a 2.5 second lead at the front of the grid. Floppy's in 6th, which is a fair run for him, to be honest with you. Albeit there has been a couple of people who have pit, but that would still mean probably around about the 8th position right now for Fluffy. But Keto in 7th, Matty in 8th, Capillaro on the soft. The Capillaro must have had an issue. Alessandro on the medium tyres right now. And the Arix boys outside of Javi have just not got off to a flying start at all. They never got really going in qualifying. They've just not got going here in the race either. And they might be just potentially struggling now. Aura's ahead of Latari. Latari already having issues after the first lap as well. Zico has pit and has come out ahead of Miku, who was in 11th early on after the incident between him and Javi in turn 3. Let's have a look a little bit further forward. Keto and Matty are fighting at the moment, but Keto should have a good run at that. That's a half-second penalty for Fluffy, but I'm not entirely sure where he picked that up, but he won't be too happy that he's picked that up. We'll just open that gap between him and Lewis. Lewis, 1.1 behind BX, who is not closed in realistically at all on Harlex. They just keep bouncing in and out of that second mark. Harlex is doing a very good job, and Harlex has been coming into a little bit of his own. A little bit of a rhythm as of recent. Usually about 9th or 10th in this league when he shows up. He's had a couple of races now where he's been able to put in some very solid performances. Last week at Road Atlanta is the highlight of his ALR career so far. He might be looking to try and top it a little bit tonight as well. He can get a little bit of a mistake from one of the two guys at the front. Maybe a mistake from Aero or Javi getting a penalty potentially. And that might jump him to a podium spot. He got 4th last week. I think he'll go one step better and potentially double podium here for Falcon. That might go some way for them getting back into this. Bear in mind, Ikonen is in lobby B. The X has now got within 8/10, sorry, just bounced outside of that marker again. Fluffy but in a little bit of well-done zone right now. Keto and Matty are fighting. These two going side by side, and I think Kepler might be trying to get involved. We're going 3 wide into a chicane. This is going to inevitably end badly. Keto has got the balls, he's got the move, and he's held it. That is well played, honestly, by the Italian there. Keto doing a very good job, but it isn't going to last. Matty has a nice run there on the exit of the chicane, and has finally got the position fully off of Keto now. Or has he? Or has Keto got a little bit left in the tank to try and go again? Keto looking to the outside. He's still there. He's just gone too deep. He just put too much on it. And I think he's lost out to Kepler now as well. What was a ballsy move somehow still ends up with him losing both positions anyway. Still have to completely admire the audacious attempt there to try and hold 3 into the chicane and still coming out on top, being the one in the middle of all of that, being the one that potentially would have got sandwiched, and still came out on top for a split second. Aura's got past Alessandro, and now it's about to hit a lot of traffic. These 3 still fighting. We'll see if Kepler has got any chance of moving forward. The X, however, has not. The X is just not closing Alex down at all. Alex is doing a good job right now of just being a nuisance for Project Platypus. Having 2 seconds up the road there. Jensen a further 2.5. What is his gap to Aura? I'm not entirely sure what the pit lane gap was, but it's currently Aura's got half a second penalty. Whatever the gap is, we'll wait until that penalty goes through to see what a representative gap is then. It looks like the gap is somewhere in around that, just over 20 seconds currently between Jensen and Aura. Aura's on the soft tyres. Been going since the end of lap 2. This will be 7 laps. They're not halfway yet. I think this is a 2-stop for Aura, and potentially a 1-stop. Fluffy Butt's having issues. Fluffy Butt is having issues. Kepler has got by. He's up at a 6. I'm not entirely sure what happened in between him and Matty. Now Fluffy Butt and Keto are going side by side. Keto the long way round, but gets it done. Not entirely sure what happened to Fluffy Butt there, but he obviously had an issue because he was 3 seconds up the road, and then suddenly he was well in this pack. And it's going to cause Aura a little bit more issues now, because he's going to have a lot of traffic, and traffic with not necessarily a stable car right now. Fluffy Butt defending from Aura, closing that gap off a little bit too quickly. Not sure if Aura managed to get himself alongside. He's going to try it now anyway. That's a nice little move there by Aura, just to go a little bit late on the brakes and get that done. He knows he can't be in traffic for too long, because the longer he's in traffic here, the more Jensen's going to benefit. The more Jensen benefits, the more Javi benefits, the less chance he's got of winning this one. In comes Lewis off of his medium tyres. The fuel just dipping up in just below a quarter now on a couple of these cars. We're on lap 10, so what? Fuel will probably go somewhere between the 17 and 18 on the half tank. There is potential to one-stop in this race. The mediums don't look great, admittedly, but there is the potential to one-stop, whether or not it's quicker. Here's a very different question that other people will have tested, and not me. That's the part I actually do really enjoy, seeing seeing how different teams approach each race as they go along. The different strategies is a very interesting scenario to watch unfold. It's happening every single race as well. Aura's got ahead of Keto, or is about to get ahead of Keto. Looks like he's spending a lot of time here though. He's spending a lot of time in the traffic. He's lost another 7/10 of a second to Jensen at the front. This traffic costing him quite dear. And he's still got his own, well, I assume his own teammate will get out the way of him. I can't imagine Matty holding Aura up here. I reckon they'll probably see someone on a radio somewhere telling the Romanian to get out the way as soon as the German FGR driver approaches. Right now, 1.2 seconds away, so that's something for a different time. Kepler at 1.1 second. No, oh, that didn't look good for Fluffy, but just a bit deep into turn one there. No, something hasn't happened to Aura. Aura pitted on lap 2 and is now starting to fight. Is trying to fight his way through a lot of traffic. About 5 or 6 cars worth of traffic in the mid pack, and none of them was relenting. He's lost a lot of time. An extra second or two he potentially didn't want to lose. I'm very intrigued at the strategy now. I'm very intrigued to see whether or not this is a one-stop or a two-stop for some of these drivers. It doesn't look like these softs are wearing off very quickly, to be honest with you, because this is lap 9 now for Aura. It's about to hit about halfway on that right on the front left. He isn't really doing a number on Matty right now either. He's just got up about 0.3 of a second. I can't imagine there's a world where Matty doesn't realise this when he gets close enough to get out of the way. Kepler has actually had his gap shrunk just a little bit as well. And this is what Matty's now got to try and measure up. How much can he help his teammate versus how much does he want the position in front? Or it potentially could try and help Matty pass Kepler in any event. About 7/10 split these two. Everyone at the front of the grid just separated by enough time to realistically not be a threat to each other. So we are going to stay with this battle right now and see realistically how this plays out. That looks a little bit deep for Matty. It is a bit deep for Matty, and he's got dirty tires. You can tell by the little bit of a slide of his BMW there. They went through the quadruple, quadruple left-hander now. In turn 3 onwards. Again, just kicking up a little bit of the grass for Matty. The tyres are going to be a little bit worn down if he keeps doing that. Aura is going to be right on him now. 0.5 of a second, using that slipstream. The question is when did he move across? When did he give him that? When did he give up that place? If he does give up that place, imagine that Aura will want him to move. 0.3 of a second. They're losing out to Kepler. Now they're losing out to Jensen at the front as well. Just being held up. Matty into the pits. And that is smart. That actually is smart. Gets him out the way of Aura. It comes off his medium tyres now. Gets him out the way of Aura. Now Aura has Kepler to try and deal with. A long time where he can go at his natural pace, where he isn't going to be held up before he hits the Italian driver for Arix. The X 13 seconds up the road right now on Kepler. Those two haven't pit. So that is the actual gap that surrounds the Project Platypus driver and the Arix driver in 4th and 5th. 1.8 between Harlex and BX. So that gap just keeps increasing as Harlex on his tyres, which is surprisingly a lot more worn out than BX's, is actually doing a number. keeping things together right now. Just trying to keep his gap a long enough distance away. Javi, 3 seconds up the road from Harlex, 2.5 from Jensen, who currently leads this race. Has a 21-second advantage over the net race leader. Or what was the net race leader, shall I say, in Aura. Lewis has been a relative non-factor after starting on the medium tyres in this one. We'll see if anything is going to change here. Aura's going to have a run at Kepler. I don't think he's going to stay behind for too long here. If you climb Kepler, you're going to try and do everything you can to stop him. I don't think there's going to be an awful lot in that situation to be able to stop him. Cuff guys in behind going into the pits. Aura on the inside, getting past Kepler, and now he has a lot of free air. A lot of space to work with. Now he's got to put down the lap times. Unfortunately for Aura, those tyres are starting to go off fairly quickly. Miku and, well, Lewis started on the medium tyres, went a little bit longer than Aura. Aura pitted on lap 2. Miku pitted not too far afterwards, and Lewis pitted quite the way later. Miku there. Pit, I think, before lap 5, so he definitely didn't pit the same time as Aura, but he definitely pitted early, and Lewis pit at the end of lap 9 there, as you can see on the screen with the 152. Currently 1.4 seconds behind Zico. A lot of pressure on the soft as well. Actually, I might be wrong with the 2-stop earlier. It might be a 3-stop, and I just didn't pay attention to it. Didn't think the soft would die that quickly, even though they've got 14 laps here, 14 laps for both Javi and for Jensen. And now I'm really confused at what people are attempting to do here, because Aura's free stopping. Yeah, that was early on that Miku got the Miku got a very interesting situation earlier on, where he had a little bit of a run-in with Javi at the start. Yeah, Miku had a run-in with Javi at the start that dropped him from 3rd to 11th. Aura's come out ahead of Jensen, and that's gonna be interesting now, because Jensen's on fresh softs. He started on softs this race as well, so he will have to go to mediums at some point. He is 2.8 seconds behind Aura. Jensen started 5th, Aura started on pole. We saw last week that Aura got picked to the line on strategy by Lewis. Is he going to get the same done to him tonight? That's going to be very interesting, because that's going to be... That gap's going to continue to come down the entire time. Will it rain? That's actually a good question, because it can rain here. We're not going to... We're not going to debate why it can't rain at Gardens, because I will be here all night, and I am not particularly happy in any way, shape or form with how the rain works in this game, but we will leave that there. In comes Harlex and BX off of their stops. We'll see if where they're going to come out. So it's now 2 seconds between Aura and Jensen. Jensen had done a number on that last lap, half a second cut in. So you would actually potentially expect Jensen to get Aura by the time Aura jumps in here. Yeah, those tyres are starting to look worse for wear. Aura has been out a lot longer than Jensen has. We'll see if anything else is going to happen. 4.7 seconds here between Jensen and Javi, so Jensen extends that gap. And Lewis and Javi are right beside each other now. So we're not going to get the triple threat that we thought we were going to get. Not tonight anyway. Lewis looks a little bit off the pace, which is weird, because he won on debut last week. Oh, that's a half-second penalty. Yeah, all of those tyres did not look like they were on the track in the slightest, so it can notch up another penalty for Lewis in this race. Alex has come out in 6th, about 3 seconds behind Zico, and 2 seconds ahead of BX, who's come out ahead of Miku by about 4.5. Miku's tired a lot worse for wear as well, so Miku's very much still in a recovery phase of this race. Matty ahead of Alessandro, who's ahead of Kepler, who's ahead of Fluffy Butt, and then Keto and Latari, who is just struggling today. That start for him is not giving him any favours in any way, shape or form, but he is struggling bad. Miku about 7/10 of a second ahead of his teammate. I assume that either if he's going to catch up on the next lap, I would assume Miku will let him go. Alex still breaking gap on BX just a little bit by bit. Zico right behind Lewis here. Javi breaking a little bit of a gap. And with the penalty there, the penalty has set Lewis back just a little bit now. And I think Lewis and Zico are going to have to work together here. Zico's tired a lot worse for wear, so I don't even know if Zico's going to be of any help here. Alex is now charging down as well. The strategy is going to be a very interesting one here. We'll see if things are going to change. We're on lap 17 of 47. Lewis 2.3 seconds behind Javi now. Zico dropped off the pace as well. Jensen actually cleared over, but he's got a half-second penalty. He cleared him, but it won't matter. That penalty is going to drop him potentially back behind Ori, and now Ori's into the pit. So we won't get to find out whether or not Ori would have passed. Javi's going to catch up now quite significantly to Jensen as well. Albeit, it doesn't look like that penalty line does much damage at all. That gap didn't really come back to Javi in the slightest. This might be one of the more forgiving penalty lines, potentially. Doesn't look like it's doing an awful lot of anything with the half seconds. Oh, 1.8 between Zico and Lewis, so that gap will continue to extend. Alex on the medium tyres now, and that's why he's not charging down Zico as quickly as we would have thought. And soft for BX. So BX needs to start closing that gap down to Alex if he's got any hope of beating him in this one. Second stint on the medium tyres here for, well, the second stint of the race for Alex is on the medium tyres. So he's done his medium 2 tyre compound requirement already, and we're on lap 18. Aura's now come in for stop number 2, and that was on lap 17. So about 15 laps then on a soft tyre, and that would make sense to do 3 sets of soft and a medium. Okay, so it is going to be a 3 stop for Aura. 3 stop for Aura and potentially 2 stop for everyone else. We've been in this position before, where that 2 stop versus 3 stop situation definitely cost FGR last time, and that last time with the Blue Moon, and it was not the strategy then. The real question is it the strategy now? Because the decision now sits with 15 laps on the soft versus 17 laps on a medium tyre with 1 less stop. Aura was about 1 second behind Jensen at the time of his stop as well. Jensen had a penalty immediately. So roughly about, what, maybe about 27-ish seconds of a stop potentially is what we're looking at. I don't know if the extra stop was a wise idea. It's going to be a very interesting conundrum to go through at the end of this one. Aura's currently the quickest driver in the session, on the fastest lap of the session, but again, he's been held up by Fluffy Butt. He's been held up by a line of drivers, again, for the second stint running. He's got to get his way through. You can see, oh, that didn't look too great. Or going a little bit onto the grass there. My reaction is bigger than what it actually was. It didn't look too good there for Aero, who's just dropped off a little bit further, and the traffic is not helping. Oh, I'm not entirely sure what Kepler are doing there. He is well and truly off the track down in the second part of the chicane. There goes Aura past Kepler, so one less car for him to have to deal with. Fluffybot gaining an extra position, Eric's dropping extra points. Kepler again having a bit of a mare. Zico's into the pit, so another driver not having to be dealt with by Aura. Alessandro has just been overtaken by Fluffybot. Aura is now very much stuck. Alessandro in the car over there. Now Quito's gone past Kepler. A little bit of a shake-up in the order in the back of the field here. Aura is stuck. Held up by traffic here in his second stint, much like he was in the first stint, and this is advantage Jensen now. 29 seconds, another couple of seconds coming off the board here for Aura. Or being put on the board, actually, is probably a better way of phrasing that. Falcon might be in a good position tonight. Here comes Aura, finally going for a move. He needed that. Desperately needed that on Alessandro. He got past Alessandro now. Fluffybot is the next car up. We already know he's had a few issues getting past the South African in this one. Alessandro might be going for Aura here. It looked like he was trying to look for a way round. Didn't get it. Aura doing enough to drive away now. Got within a second of Fluffybot. Let's have a little bit of a further look further forward. Harlex is on his medium tyres, remember. So he's already done his stint, his requirements. But yeah, BX I don't think BX has in the background. BX is on his second set of soft tyres on that McLaren. He did 14 laps in the first stint. Can't imagine he'll be doing too many more than that on his second stint here. He did 15 laps even, sorry, on his first stint. Going probably lap 30. Oh, that didn't look great in front either. I'm not entirely sure who it was. Might have been a little bit of grass being kicked up by Lewis. Jensen's got 5 seconds on Habby. We've got a country mile to Lewis in third. Alex and BX. BX to the inside! Is he going to get a good enough exit? Is there going to be enough of an exit? Down towards the chicane here for BX and the McLaren to make it stick. The answer is no, there is not. Alex does enough to hang on a little bit longer. Airtime for them both. BX is being held up now by the Falcon driver. We'll see if BX has got anything in the tank now to make this happen into turn 1. There is not a long straight here at Dragon Trail, so overtaking is not the easiest thing to do. Again, Alex just does enough to hold BX at bay. And that's been the case for pretty much the entire race. Everything Alex has done has just been intentionally there to try and hold Project Platypus at arm's length. BX may be able to go for it shortly. Fluffybot still ahead of Aura. He's giving Aura a hell of an issue in this race, that's for certain. Fluffybot is not giving up any position without any sort of fight. Clawing away to keep that position, that's for certain. And once again, Aura is stuck behind him. He's going the long way around this time. Aura might have done it. He's found a way through. He's caught Fluffybot maybe unaware. And Aura has finally navigated the traffic. He's lost, what, 3 seconds in the process of navigating the traffic, but he's lost the traffic now. And much like at the end of his second stint, he absolutely needs to just put the foot to the floor now and get the lap times in. Because here comes Fluffybot, potentially going straight back. Now at the door. Very much shut on him there. And I can't blame Aura for that one. He needed to keep that position. Fluffybot somehow fought that one back. I think it may have been curtained on the 3-stop strategy. Aura is away now. Over the second. and is in the distance. And now we're on to lap 23 of this race, and Aura had the ability, a lot of space in front of him as well, to just hammer out some lap times. A little bit deep there from Fluffy, but into turn 1. So we'll really see what he can do compared to Jensen now in the next few laps. BX dropped off the second mark now on Harlex. Really is not able to get past that the Norwegian in this race. Every single thing is just one step away right now for BX. A little bit disjointed. We'll see if there's going to be anything for BX to do here. Yeah, did chuck out a couple attempts there off Alex as they headed out the hairpin. Lewis is now 11 seconds off the back of Javi. That gap is not coming back down. Jensen 4.5 ahead of Javi right now, so that gap has shrunk ever so slightly. Marty 3.1 ahead of Aura. Aura finally getting some space to put down these lap times. There's a pit stop. That's for Lewis. Okay, so Lewis is now off of his tyres. I assume another soft tyre is coming on his car. It will be. I can only assume there's another set of soft. Yeah, 51% would definitely indicate that being the case. Alessandro to the pitch now as well. Dico has jumped Lewis. Kepler still fighting with Quito, who has actually put in a good shift here for Aero GT in this particular race. Dico looked like he was a little bit out of sorts there. Kepler just too far back off the back of Quito to make something happen. Into turn 3. And again, just keeping this to another view of one driver doing enough of the work to keep the closest competitor at arm length. It's not really a long gap. It's always been around about the 0.3 of a second, Fluffy, but going a little bit off kilter there in the hairpin. It's just doing enough. Keo's going to get a better exit here. Is that exit going to be enough to hold him there, though? That's the real question, because here comes Kepler now, and the Aston Martin doesn't go for it. They even look for it, I don't think. As they continued in this, they continue on in this race onto lap 25. I put YouTube on very quickly because half the comments are just cutting off the screen. Quito just doing enough again. Matty's into the pit, so it gives Aura a little bit more room to play with. And we'll see if Aura's got enough realistically to close down Jensen. He has about 6 times of a second since the last time we came into that battle. BX is still there with Harlex and still about 1.3 away. He's just not being able to do anything at the moment. And those gaps have relatively stayed the same between Javi and the car behind and Javi and the car in front. Aura's got all the space in the world to work with. Quito's still ahead of Kepler. There's no real threat. Unless there's a mistake coming in from someone here. I'm sure if Aura may have made a little bit of an issue there, but either way, not too damaging. Quito did not get a good exit there, by the way. Did not get a good enough exit. Kepler did. Here comes the Aston Martin. Alongside, definitely alongside now to try and make a move into the chicane. We know Quito's got the balls to stick it in, and he stays there again. Quito is doing exceptionally well at defending that chicane. Just knowing where to put his car so that you can't get in on the inside, you can't get in on the outside. Just controlling the road in a pretty impressive manner right now. It might actually do a little bit of harm to Zico into Lewis, and there goes Kepler off the track! And then Lewis has gone a little bit deep as well. And Kepler loses out to both Zico and Lewis. The real question now is whether or not this is going to be good news for Kepler, because these two in front have a little bit more pace and potentially a way around that McLaren. Oh, well, Lewis wouldn't. Lewis potentially might do if he can keep the car on track for more than 4 seconds after I say that he'd say a good thing about it. We'll see if anything is going to be able to come out of this. Zico is right on the back of Quito now. Yeah, good exit here will do a number. Is he going to be able to get close enough? Quito trying to pull to the inside here to stop the onslaught from Zico, who now pulls to try and get alongside it. We'll see if Quito's got another defense in him. Zico eats that curb, and this time Quito's got no chance. That car absolutely took that curb and was just like, yep, that's fine by me. Zico was in turn. Zico made sure that Quito had no chance to respond. Through goes the GTR. Lewis might be trying to take a look now as well. Lewis looking to the inside here. 7th versus 8th. Lewis to the inside. Gets it. Gets it done. Up into 7th here. I think Zico might be about to let him by as well, and he has, so a little bit of a switch there from Project Platypus. So Lewis is now going to have a chance to just kind of break a gap, do something in this race. He has been very quiet tonight. BX has BX has been off the track. He got damage. He's got damage. BX is off the track. Oh, that is not good news for Project Platypus, who was kind of hoping here for BX to be the big point scorer, because Lewis hasn't really been doing anything. Zico's been in and out of decent positions, and BX has just dropped the car into the wall, and well, I don't know if this is going to be a great night for Project Platypus anymore. It's still going to be decent points, but they needed a huge points haul between now and the end of next week to get themselves really back into contention by the time we hit Spa and the Nordschleife at the end of this season for double points. Just really isn't going to slide there. He's just dropping the ball. ALR's got even more room to play with now. Here we go. So Alex got an 8-second gap to Aero, 15 behind Javi. Jensen is actually being closed in by the McLaren ever so slightly. It's only been a second. A second of change since the last time we took a look at this battle, but it was 4.7. It is now 3.6. Javi is just starting to close it in, which is very interesting, because that means we may have a three-way fight for the lead of this race come the end of this one, and it's 3 different teams. 2 of them are currently the top 2. Falcon need a big day to get back into the fight. Well, yes, double points is a very, very big swinging factor towards the end of the season. You've got to be in with the chance, though. You've got to keep yourself within, like, 50 points, realistically, to actually stand a chance. Either that or have 2 of the best weeks you could possibly hope for. That's also a strategy, I guess. So, Harlex, 5 seconds off on Jensen. Jensen, 1.8 clear of Oren. All that fight he did with Fluffy, but has potentially come back to bite him. Jensen on softs again. So now are they on the same strategy? Because this is the 3rd set of softs for Jensen. And this becomes very interesting. It's mediums for Javi, so he's going to the end. No more pit stops for Arix. Whereas the two in the lead of this race, Jensen and Aura, both have to stop again. Strategy just taking another little bit of a turn. I am... Good call, good check. Let's have a look further down. We got Latari, then Fluffy Butt. Kepler are 8 seconds ahead of Fluffy Butt right now. Miku in 11th, right behind Alessandro, about 9/10 of a second. There's really an awful lot happening there. Miku's tyres, yeah, Miku's tyres are just going to be worse off. So I think Alessandro is going to start driving away. Yep, he does indeed. Miku kind of just stranded there toward the back of the grid. Matty in 9th. Keto in 8th. BX is now into the pits. For what I can only assume is the final time. That spin is going to have done him a massive disfavor because he's going to have lost about 10 seconds on time here. Gito's not far away from pit stop himself. Matty's on soft again. I don't think he's going to the end from here though. He's definitely not going to the end from here. He's got another soft set to put on after this. I'm very interested to see where this strategy pulled everyone here then. So, Javi is 2 seconds ahead of Lewis. Lewis has just been off the back of the 309. Javi is currently 6 seconds off of Aura, 9 off of Jensen, who has absolutely blown Aura out of the water right now. And the different kind of free stop has actually benefited Falcon here. Here comes Harlex. He's going to go to... He's got 17 laps here, so I think he might try to the end if he goes on to soft to certain. Jensen still has to pit for the medium tyre. Aura does not. Aura's about to go in for its final stop very momentarily. He'll go potentially in the end of next lap. And do 15 to the end. That seems to be what he's set up to do throughout the rest of the night. Jensen still has to pit it again. But he's going to go 2 laps mediums at the end of something of that nature. Bear in mind you have to do 1 complete lap on the medium tyres. So if he pitted on lap 46, the end of lap 46, beginning of 47, technically would count. I believe it would count anyway, yeah. Don't see it. Pretty sure that... My head, that works. Yeah, Jensen 5 seconds ahead of Aura, and those two are effectively 1 stop apiece to the end of this race. There's going to be no fuel involved for Jensen's stop, or if there is, it's going to be very minute amounts of fuel. I think Aura's strategy, and potentially even more so, being caught up in that massive set of trains on both stint 2 and 3, has done him a lot more damage than we actually thought it would. He lost about 5 or 6 seconds within those trains, actually, on those 2 stints combined. Would be enough to put him right beside Jensen right now. But even then, I think Jensen's fuel at the end of this one would just be enough to take it anyway. Which makes it very, very interesting to see the alternate strategy, I guess. There's like about 5 or 6 different strategies going on at this point. I'm kind of losing count. But they could potentially still work. But we do know that both of them still have to pit, and Javi does not. And that's where this potentially gets even more interesting. Javi's on the 2-stop, and he's going to be the one they have to chase down. The question is how long is a stop with no fuel? That's effectively the scenario Jensen's under. Aura will have to do some massive work to try and carve out that gap that Javi's about to create on the pit stop. On the end of the lap here. Aura's about to go in, so we'll see what Aura needs to charge down. I don't think I think this is going to be quite a substantial number. That's going to be very interesting. He's gonna have whatever the number is. If he comes out behind him, he'll have 2 laps to catch him. If he pits even later, he'll have a lap, and that won't be anywhere near enough time. He's got to get out in front, realistically, of Javi, otherwise Javi can just do the most defensive things imaginable, just to hold on. And Matty needs to get out of the way, yet Matty immediately spots who that is beside him and just dives out the way. He's not holding him up any further. And this time, Aura has some clean air. The only issue is he is an age away from the next driver. 9 seconds away from the next driver. I don't know if that... He's gonna be able to catch that, you know. Alex had his medium tyre stint earlier on. He's going to the end on that soft tyre, so Aura's not gonna have great pace again, with a greatest pace advantage over him. That's gonna be close, you know. I don't think he gets any further than that. Obviously, Zico has to pit, and I think Lewis does as well. Javi is right on the fight now between him and Lewis. That is a really close fight. I'm not entirely sure how that came about. I think Lewis may have just started to chunk into the time. Looking at it, yeah, it's about 7:10 that came off last lap. This lap, a 33.6 for Javi. That's a lot slower than we thought. It's only a 34 for Lewis. Zico now into the pits. And this is where it's going to get very interesting. Harlex is going to be that final step of the podium here. And that's going to be dependent on whether or not he can hold Aura at bay. And if he can, for how long? These two, the more these two fight out, the worse this is going to get for Javi. He needs a lot of clean air just to pump in the lap times, because he needs to keep himself as close to Jensen as he possibly can. I don't really think he's close enough right now. 17.3 seconds. Right now, I think Jensen comes out in the lead of this race. Aura's pit stop cost him, what, about 27 seconds again. That strategy, the alternate strategy, is not paid off. Well, I guess the alternate to the alternate strategy is not paid off. Javi's starting to gain a little bit of a gap on Lewis. I wonder if it would have been potentially nicer for them to work together here to try and hunt down Jensen rather than the opposite. They are definitely trying to work against each other at this point in time. They're costing each other time rather than helping each other close that 18-second gap. Lewis, oh, a little bit too deep there from Lewis, almost collected Javi in the process. I am very intrigued at the scenario we are about to unfold here. Aura still 8.2 seconds behind Alex. There is no gap coming down there whatsoever. 1/10 of a second, split the two on the last lap. Harlex is definitely running. He might actually be in with a shout here of a podium. And this will be a massive day for Falcon. Double podium. If Ikonen could have done well in Lobby B as well, it could be a day to get them back into this championship. They did a 32.5. Not sure where the mistake came, but fair enough. Matty 3 seconds off the back there. Matty's still got to pit. Alessandro's still got to pit. BX is on to the end. Zico on to the end as well. These guys surely got to work together right now. Lewis is about to pit as well. Quito off to the end, 4 seconds, 5 seconds off of Zico. He's very much in no man's land. He's just going to have to defend. Actually, he's not even going to have to defend. He's going to try and drive away from Kepler here, who might have Fluffy Butt to defend from later on in this one. Miku's in 13th. He's 9 seconds off the back. I think he's gone into pit recently. He has gone into pit recently, so he is at the back. And then we've got Latari, who's just had a day to forget, I think. Wait, that's someone that had an issue. It is! Was that a mistake? I think it might have been, you know? Or even that, the worst camera angle of all time. Alessandro there. Off of his soft now. He's into the pits onto his final stint. Not entirely sure if anything actually happened though. I'm just getting the dodgy camera angle. Zico and BX, there we go. There's the switch that we expected to happen. So Zico has gone by. Bear in mind there is no Drivers' Championship here. It is just a Teams Championship. So it does not make sense to be driver hogging at all. Just let your teammate go by if you think he's quicker. Matty will have to pit sooner rather than later. So that'll be a position for BX. That'll be a position for Zico as well. And an extra couple of point swing off of FGR. The good news if you're FGR is that even if you're having a bad day, the teams that are having a good day, you're not your direct competitors right now. Not in the championship anyway. Because the direct competitor in Arix is also not having that great of a day outside of having, to be honest with you, Kepler and Alessandro. Having a day that they would like to forget as well. Whereas Project Platypus and Falcon are the two teams that potentially might get themselves back into this. Lewis into the pits. Matty into the pits. They've got about 11 to go. They have done 36 laps. Yeah, they do have exactly 11 laps of this race to go. Are they coming out ahead of Zico? So it's 5, 6, 7 right now for Project Platypus. Not the worst. It could have been better without a BX's spin earlier. Aura is now starting to chunk in just a little bit on Harlex. I don't know if there's enough time left realistically to chunk enough out of that, but he does have the slight tyre advantage. Javi, 5.8 seconds ahead of the Norwegian on the medium tyres. At the end of the day, there is always the chance that they just catch up to Javi. That is also a possibility. The real question is whether or not they do that right before the tyres wear out or not. And Jensen's now got a 20-second gap, 20.5-second gap now actually. I don't really see that coming back. About to lap Latari as well. Bear in mind, people voted for blue flags to be off. We have to see if people are going to respect it. 4.9 seconds now between Harlex and Jensen's going to pit for a medium tyre at the end because he hasn't run them yet. Jensen's done 3 sets of softs, I'm 99% sure, I believe. Even though he might have done, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 3 sets of softs. Unless I'm missing laps somewhere. I think someone may be able to go through the stream and check if I am going insane or not. I'm pretty sure he's only done 3 sets of softs right or in his third set of softs. The 15-15. He's in the middle of his third stint. Which is why he will come back to Javi, but he won't come back too far. Don't really think the fastest lap's on the table. He definitely won't double pit, that's a certain. 4.7 now between Javi and Harlex. The real question is whether or not Harlex has got enough tyre to continue to charge this down. Because he's got enough time. More than enough time, but 8 laps to go of this race. In fact, 9 laps to go of this race, pardon. The question is, has he got enough in the on those tyres to really, really put some pressure on. Yeah, or the traffic has cost him a podium at the very least. It might have cost him a little bit more. Come the end of this one. Lewis 12 seconds off the back of Aero. I don't think there's anything else in this for Project Platypus apart from their 5, 6, 7. They're going to have to settle with what they have. BX 2.9 seconds ahead of Keto right now. Keto is on soft, so Keto may be able to start chunking into that. Maybe not 5, 6, 7 yet. Oh, Kepler sliding his car in the background there. Floppy butt right on the back of Matty. He has to pit sooner rather than later here, Fluffy butt, so I wouldn't be too surprised if you see him drop further back as well. Miku there in 12th. Ahead of Alessandro right now, but Alessandro has the tyre advantage. Don't know if Alessandro has enough time realistically to do much damage to the FGR driver, but even if it is for a couple of a point or so, here Alessandro needs to take those points off of FGR if he can. Every point taken off of FGR must be seen as a win for Arix at this point in the season. Just to keep them within touching distance before we go to double points after Sardinia. 4.7 now between Alex and Javi. Again, the question just sits there, and I don't think he's going to have enough tyre. I think he's just going to run out of enough tyre to really push on. Yeah, Aura's traffic did do a number. Did do a number for certain. Let's see, we got about 5 seconds now, the gap. Yeah, Harlex is dropping back. Harlex is dropping back. I think Javi is going to survive. Those tyres are starting to wear on the front as well of Jensen's car. So if Javi could just take a lap or two, just to start eating into that 20-second gap at the front, it might be a lot closer than we're willing to give it credit. Aura is just starting to chunk into Harlex now. Is there a podium in this? Is there a double podium in this for Falcon? Or is FGR going to sneak their way on? Again, the strategy, the Achilles heel. I don't know whether or not it's going to cost him a podium here. There's still 7 laps to go. He does have fresher tyres than the Falcon driver in front of him. You would expect him to continue to chunk out the entire way. It's just a case of whether or not they continue to, well, if they have enough time left on the clock here. Well, this isn't really making any sort of indents whatsoever. There's no real pushes further back. Matty is on the back of Keplero. There might be a position in that Keplero, for Arix's sake, need to defend that like he's defending for his life. Fluffy butt now into the pits. That'll give Miku and Alessandro positions. Need to know whether or not Alessandro is with it closer than that 6 second he was prior. He isn't. It was 6-1. It's now 6-8. He is actually going backwards. That is not good news there for Arix. And in comes Jensen. He's pit on the end of lap 41. Potentially could have gone one more. The real question is how much fuel is he putting in? It's medium tyres that have to go on the car. That's the end of his fuel in. There's the medium tyre that has gone onto his car. He has complied with code. He is 1.2. He's just about ahead of Javi. He is ever so slightly ahead of Javi. Oh, and any longer, and he would have been jumped, and it would have been a lot harder. But now he gets the chance to drive away. We almost had a grandstand finish there on the cards if Javi had got out in front. I don't see a way that he can really charge after Jensen here. His tyres are so much worse. He's not got fuel either. he's going to have to take advantage of this outlap of just Jensen getting used to these tyres, because as soon as Jensen gets used to these tyres, it's lights out. As soon as it's lights out, it's game over. It will be a win for Jensen if that happens. He has got to get close enough. He's got to get close enough now. He's just not closing in. He's just not closing in enough. Tires are just starting to grain. Oh, that's a little bit better time. For both of them, actually, looks like. That looks like a little bit better chicane there for Javi. The exit again, just not going his way. It's gonna be close. He's got to get this going. He's got to shrink that gap. The longer this goes on, the quicker this will end. Like the longer this goes on, the more it favours the Falcon driver currently out in front. And there's the second gap. That might be it for Slipstream, and if that's it for Slipstream, I think that might be it for the race. It's gonna be predicated now on a mistake. If Jensen keeps this clean, he should see this to the line. The interesting scenario here is a mistake, though, by Jensen. Maybe a half-second penalty or something. And we are going to go side-by-side racing for a while. Those tyres are just starting to kick in now, you can tell. Those tyres have just started to kick in. He got used to them. And he's now starting to drive away. The window of opportunity was small, but it was there for Javi. Oh, a little bit of an awkward jump over the curb there. Yeah, away with the fact that it's McLaren that's the car behind him. Yeah, Aero has caught way up to Harlex now. Is it a double podium? I think Harlex has run out of steam. I think he's run out of steam here. I think he's going to get him. I think Aura's going to get him here. It's going to be very late. It's going to be for the bottom step of the podium at best. He's just going to run out of steam here. Those tyres are a lot worse than the car behind him. Albeit Aura's dropped below 50% on his tyres now, so I don't know if the gap, where the advantage is going to be as stark as it may have been on the last lap. It's going to be a very difficult challenge now. Harlex is going to have to put in one hell of a defence if this is going to stick. I don't think he has it in him. It has been an exceptional drive from him, though. He got 4th last week. He'd done very well to get 4th then. I think he might have to settle for it again this time round as well. Norwegian has just started to get it together, realistically, in ALR. Fighting with the big boys now. Or half a second. Can't imagine it lasting any longer than the next lap. It'll be very close to see whether or not Harlex tyres reach the end. That's the question. Still there. Still getting a better corner than Aura as well. Aura getting a significantly better exit though. That wider entry just set him up a lot better, and I think this might be it. Here comes the move. Aura's going to switch to the outside. Harlex defends the inside. Switchback attempt potentially on. Nope. That's just well defended by Harlex again. Aura just as well. He's had struggle overtaking the entire night. Is he going to be struggling again? This time into the quadruple left-hander. Harlex is still there, still ahead. Still hanging on to third for literally dear life at this point. Almost as much as he's going to be hanging on to those tyres come the end of lap 47. Their chances of getting Javi very much dead. Without a mistake. Jensen 3 seconds up the road, so that is it needs to be a mistake to force that into some sort of grandstand finish. I think this might be it. I think that's a better exit. I think that's a better exit there for Aura. The Aston Martin does have a good acceleration, that's for certain. Aura's going to have to force this one if he's going to get it here. He isn't going to get it here. Harlex is just chalking down the time. Aura is just either really biding his time here, or is struggling to get by again. And the longer he looks, the longer this is going to go on. And he's just taking a look every single time he goes around a corner. It's going to go just a little bit swinging back in Norwegian's favour now. Aura had a little bit of a mare coming out the final corner. He has got to defend the inside here, or if he's going to defend at all. He's just placing his car in the middle of the road. He's still ahead of Aura as they go through turn 2. And Aura's slid! Aura's round! Aura's round! Aura's in the wall, and here comes Lewis! And all of that attempts at overtaking sees the FGR driver in the wall! And he pushed too much! He pushed too much and he paid the price! And the strategy not only came back to bite him for a podium, it's come back to bite him for 4th as well! Oh no! FGR just dropping the ball! Ouch! The point swing there goes some points to FGR. It's going to be Project Platypus that picks them up, and Harlett can breathe easy now. He can breathe very easy now. Aura's going to have to try and fight this for 4th now. He's going to have to fight this tooth and nail just to get 4th back. I don't know if he's got it, you know. I don't know if there's enough left in the tank. We're going on to 47. He's going to have to fight this tooth and nail just to get his own position back. He's going to get close. Or try to get close anyway. Oh, Lewis is having an issue. Lewis is half-span. Lewis is now going to be under pressure from Aura. And he looks to take it back. And he got away with the spin because he's managed to get his position back because of a mistake from Lewis. And these two fighting for the win last time round. Oh my god, these two fighting for the win last week. Fighting for 4th now, and they're making mistakes that you would not see from these two, the caliber of these two. And it's just handed Aura back his position, so I guess all no harm, no foul on the spin in the end for Aura. He's going to get away with it. He's just about going to get away with it, but we're going to switch to the... Oh, Aura just dropped the ball again there. A little bit of grass. We have to switch to the end here. Aura's been overtaken by Lewis as we go to the line with Jensen, who's about to go and win the race for Falcon. Lap 47 of 47, and he wins round 5 at Dragon Trail. Jensen very much clear heavy in the end. Harlex is going to get third. We're going to go back to this fight very quickly because I want to know what happens between Lewis and Aura here. Aura's going the long way round. Aura might try and set himself up for a better exit. Lewis is back in a 4th. Is he going to get it? Lewis is going to hang on for 4th here, and Aura is going to have to settle for 5th. Harlex double podiums for Falcon on what is his best finish in ALR since he joined the league. He has really got it going, and it is definitely driver of the day for him. Aura dropped the ball, potential podium slipped to a 5th. Zico in 6th, BX in 7th, Matty in 8th, Keto in 9th. Those two look to fight out right to the end. Capello gets 10th. It looked like Miko is gonna get 11th there. Yep, and he does. Alessandro quite handsomely ahead of Latari. Alessandro in 12th, Latari will end in 13th. What a final lap, what a final couple of laps. It wasn't the grandstand finish I was hoping for at the front, but the rest of the grid decided they were wanting to provide it instead. Harlex basically held on for dear life. could not have held on any longer if he tried. The mistake came for Aura. Wow. Absolute carnage to end that one off. What an end to that race. Honestly, fair play in the end. I think we may have just seen one of the two teams at the very least try and restake a claim. And it would be the defending champions as well, just to try and get themselves back into this. Sardinia next week is the final time we race with eight teams this season. At the end of Sardinia, we will shorten it down to the top 5. And then the top 5 will go double points at Spa, and then a double points at the Nordschleife. What an end to the season we might have here. We're going to have 3 or 4 teams just battling out tooth and nail, and I cannot wait. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Sardinia, 8 PM this time next week. I'll see you then.